That's nice.
Yeah, I also wouldn't give dice.
Does anyone need dice?
No, I think we all have dice. So I did realize that I didn't have the sound on anyways. You know, that's always cool. So all of that was missed. Short.
We can go with it.
Yeah. You want here? Why don't you give a recap of the last 10 minutes? Go for it.
One rock, paper, scissors.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so basically,
Okay.
we showed up, there's this place, and we all had recently had a near-death experience, and then we showed up at this place, and there's a thing in the middle, and the thing in the middle wants us to go there, and they played rock, paper, scissors, and that's it. Unless you wanted to add anything.
I think that's good. I'm trying to think of what else we had going on. Yeah, so you guys had all told your "this is how my character died" story, and your bodies were corporeally transformed here somehow, instead of going wherever you expected to go. Aside from that, yeah,
I did expect to go here.
that's an interesting situation. Okay, so with that, so you guys are dealing with having landed in this place that seems to want to draw you toward the center of it. Have fun. See you Thursday. And so now you've tried to face toward the center. It pulled you into each other. You were commanded to Rochambeau, and one of you was the victor. What would you like to do next? As what was going to be your sad demise turns into what might be a new lease on life, if you accept that you're feeling this strange gravitational force holding you, or that you have to fight and actively resist.
I mourn the loss of Rochambeau.
And I'm so happy. I'm like ecstatic right now because I used to hate my life. I was like scared of fairies, but there's no fairies here presumably. And so I'm like, yes, and I won something, and my competitive spirit gets a hold of me, and I invite the person behind me to also operate the scissors.
Is this map accurate?
Is the map?
Is all of the things on the map that are on the place that we're at? Okay, what's this?
You can make a perception check, or if you can get over to it, you can make an investigation check. Were you inviting that person who seems distracted?
Yeah.
I think you were ignored then.
So I'm crying now.
Oh, perception plus 9. I'm gonna do perception.
Okay.
9, 18.
Okay, as you look over at that particular piece, let me just look at the map real fast. That appears to be a sphere inset into some sort of metallic panel, and there are illuminated lines of energy on the sphere, and some of them end in matching lines on the panel that then, like a circuit board, kind of move out from there. Okay. So you can move, so if you want to, you can start moving there. Make an athletics check for us, and we'll see how long it might take.
That's 5 plus 6.
11.
11.
So it will probably take you about, it'll probably take you a minute or so in game. So you're like, it feels like you're having to go kind of slow motion clobbing, and it's taking a lot of energy. What are the rest of you doing as you see? She didn't do that on purpose. That's the important thing. That's the important thing. So what are you doing as you see this? As you see one of your new compatriots begin to slowly and through great effort work themselves outside of this gravitational pull.
Well, I'm pretty sure right now all I can see is like your chest. So I would like to get away from you.
Yes, I want to get away from me as well.
Okay. So which direction are you traveling?
towards this person,
Okay, and they seem to be focused in this direction. Do you travel toward them or where they're going?
where they're
So you're on an intercept path. Make an athletics check, which is a d20, that one you rolled a minute ago, and then add your athletics bonus. Is that a nat 1?
yeah.
It's probably not going to matter.
Okay.
So a nat 1 in D&D is usually a critical fail.
Yeah.
So you find yourself, as you go to take a step, the energy from this thing just pulls on every part of your fayness, and you find yourself kind of and like flattened, like in seated position on the ground. Kind of sitting down, and you kind of feel yourself pulled up against the ankle of and shin of your rat friend.
I'm gonna kind of like scurry back and go, dang it.
Okay.
Or try to.
Try
I'm
to.
still in the
Yeah.
middle of the
You
ground.
can kind of lean and take like a step. Okay.
I apologize profusely.
That's fine. Goes worse for you than for me.
Some people sweat profusely, other people apologize that way. Sorry. Yeah. Okay.
I exist profusely.
I like it. That sounds about right.
Every week.
That's not.
Every
Yes, that's totally true. Yeah. Aside from all the other affirmations we've been giving you tonight. Okay. So, is it so? We will. So you can continue moving forward. So you see her continue to move. It takes time. So once you flop down and you're like, oh, I'm sorry. What's your next step? As you see the other person continuing to make steady progress.
I think I'm gonna try to move away from the center of gravity.
Okay.
I went to it and now I'm going away from it, so like this direction.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna try to see what's over here
Okay.
and get over there.
Okay. So you get about halfway there, Noella, and then when you get about halfway, you feel it like the forces might have changed. Make another athletics check.
Did I roll 5 last time? I think it's an 11 again.
Okay. It's not bad, a +6 in athletics. That's pretty good. So you're going to actually be able to travel a little bit faster. So you can go 2 more inches here.
Let's go.
So you're almost there. It's like but now it's taken a lot of effort. Can you make a Constitution saving throw for me to see if you gain a level of exhaustion? All right, and so as you move, you
nat
can.
20.
Nice. So you succeed. So there's a moment where you feel like it's taking a lot of energy to overcome this force, and then you kind of you take a moment. What would you tell yourself to encourage yourself to keep going?
The fire's gonna get you again.
Using fear as a motivator, and you feel yourself infused with this encouraging strength or fear as the cortisol courses through your body to motivate you to fight or flight. In this case, flight. All right. So you're sitting flat. He's moving away from you. You can feel his presence kind of distancing behind you.
Did you say that out loud? The fire's gonna get you? Okay. So I'm on the floor and I say, "Hey, buddy, it sounds like you're holding on to a lot of trauma from your past life, and I just want to say
Can I
that."
hear her?
She's saying it out loud, right?
Man.
And I just want to say that winning rock, paper, scissors, like, helped me a lot. So if there's anything that I could do to help you move on, because, like, I can hear you crying over there about fire, and I just, we're here together, and I just want to help you out.
What do I roll to ignore?
Can I give you a hug? Can I roll to give a hug?
You're too far away.
Make an athletics check.
13, and I don't know which one that is.
So
But my strength is a 20.
okay, if we scroll down, you might have the list of abilities somewhere down here. Interesting the way they have this set up this way. Nope. Huh.
Did you already close the website page?
No.
But I think, yeah. Oh, it kind of gave you a choice. So your strength is going to be a +5 for sure. And it probably would have been what you're a barbarian, so that's going to be athletics with proficiency. So you should be able to add. It should be like a +8 if I'm remembering correctly.
And that's
Okay, so you are this time around. You're like, okay, I got pulled flat last time, and you're like, I gotta set my feet better. And so you manage to stand up, and you're able to go. You can cross half the distance between. So you go like basically like 3 inches from the center there, which is pretty good. Actually, I'm gonna let you go a little bit more, like closer to that. So yeah. So a little more than halfway to your person. To ignore the encouragement and the and like the strength and fortitude that this small 2-foot something fairy is displaying, make a wisdom saving throw with disadvantage. Because you're trying to take the lowest in this instance.
I got 16 both times. Wisdom is +9, so 25.
Okay, so this is you trying to ignore, and it doesn't. It just doesn't work.
What?
You're too wise to ignore her encouragement. The higher the roll, it was worse. I was trying to give you the lower roll.
Why are you obsessed with me?
I love you.
I don't want to touch the thing.
I want to touch your soul.
Stop!
I yell back, why can't you do both?
Let's touch it together.
No! I don't want you to touch me.
I just want to touch your heart.
Stop touching me.
Resisting the urge to say
I'm
something.
just like this behind you. Give me a hug.
No.
Okay. Are you continuing to try to work toward the panel? Make one more athletics check for me.
Nat 20.
There you go.
6.
You make it to the panel. And you still feel the pull, but it doesn't seem like it's taking quite so much energy at the panel. So what would you like to do here?
Touch it.
Okay. Basically, if you look at it, okay. Are you wanting to make another perception check now that you're closer, like how it works? Or are you doing investigation?
Perception, or would it be investigation? What can I pick?
If you want to,
Oh, please let me pick.
so if you can pick, and it changes how you engage with it. If you do perception, you're trying to work out. It's almost like an insight check. Through observation. If you do investigation, it's like trial and error, mash the buttons and see what moves.
Okay. I'm doing perception.
Okay. So you try and kind of
Nat
draw
20
out.
plus 9.
Wow, nice. So you try and suss out how this thing works. And you take a few moments to concentrate on that. Are you continuing to walk out the circle?
Yeah.
Make an athletics check for me real fast.
I'm not doing so.
So you see that your prey is your goal, that she has made it to hers and is starting to like examine closely what this panel in front of her is doing.
I got an 11.
You can go one more inch. So what will you do while she examines this
Same.
control panel of sorts?
Try to touch it as well.
Okay, make another athletics check to see how much distance you can travel.
18,
It's pretty good.
whatever my
Plus 8. Okay, so you can kind of go right next to her, but you're only 2 feet. I was gonna say you're over her shoulder, but unless you have a flying ability.
I do.
Okay, so how would you go and like peek over her shoulder or under her armpit or whatever it is?
What are we looking for?
Please stop. Please stop.
Please tell me, I want to help.
No. I already figured it out.
Okay. So with a 29,
Uh-huh.
this seems to control the amount of gravity. You're looking and like there seem to be some insignia on there. What languages do you speak actually?
Yes. Common and Elvish. There's a person at my front door.
I really did not press right.
And now they know that you know.
Mm-hmm.
If they're on some random obscure professor's channel on the internet.
Probably my father. Oh no, it's my mother.
Even cooler. I don't know why. Okay, so you can work out that some of these symbols are labeled pathways. It does have the look of like an illuminated circuit board. And these metal threads on this panel attached to what appear to be nodes and dials and things. And some of them are labeled. And so with the 29, they actually, it works out. They're labeled in Elvish. And because everybody knows the arcane is written in Elvish. I mean, yeah. So,
What?
so
What do you want?
You're rejecting my friend.
Exactly.
no, she meant like construct friends, like friends you
Yeah.
constructed, not like
Arcane
friendships
is
you
the
built.
friends we made along the way.
Built as in literally created and formed.
So with that, we'll say that you're able to study it long enough and it's got some key language to say basically you think you can control the amount of gravitational output that's coming from this thing behind you.
Okay, I'm not going to tell her what it does. I'm just gonna say I know what it does.
What does your character sound like? What voice would you make for that? For a furbolg who's almost 8 foot tall.
What's a furball?
A large, kind of slightly muscular, lanky, hair, blue, green fur usually. Abominable snowman style, but kind of sweet.
Can it sound like me? Please?
No, it may not.
What would you sound like if you were 8 feet tall?
The same, I think.
Purple.
Oh, I picked a good one.
Yes.
I think that it would sound like me. Because
Okay.
I am 8 feet tall.
Obviously.
Obviously, my.
I was just trying to give you a chance to explore some role play, but that's
I
fine.
think I'm good.
Okay. Cool. I respect your judgment.
Yeah.
Okay. So she says she thinks to you. She thinks she knows how it
I
works.
said I know exactly what it does.
There you go. With all the confidence of an 8-foot blue furry Noella.
That's basically what I look like to you.
Okay. Does she also make a short joke in game?
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Okay. Can I do something in response to that?
Sure.
I say, look, can you just get over your hatred of me so that we can just, make use of whatever the hell you're looking at?
What?
And then I want to use it without knowing whatever it does.
Okay. When you say you want to use it, what do you do?
I want to point it at a generic position. Just any
Okay.
random position.
So it's like a sphere with little circuits arcanely lit up over it, and you're just gonna kind
I'm
of
just gonna
it
press a
spins in
button.
a couple directions. The center core, if that's what you
Spinning
mean.
it clockwise or counterclockwise?
But you said just random.
Yeah.
Roll 2d4s for me. That's the little pyramid looking one. Roll 2 of those.
You could just roll it
Oh,
twice.
you're so weird.
Okay.
2. 3.
All right. So you feel it kind of soft click like and then soft click in the other direction as you kind of move it around. What are you imagining is going to happen?
I imagine that it's gonna reveal us to the next clue on how we can either get out of this building or maybe like reveal why we're here.
Okay. Let's have you roll a d100, which is your 2 d10s, this size. And then, yeah, there you go. Roll those.
60 and a 9.
Okay. So, with that, you feel the gravity from behind you. Whatever you did causes it to decrease, and you are fairly quickly, and so you're kind of forcing yourself forward, and suddenly you get to your own strength, and normal movement is gonna you're gonna get your half movement back. But going from like being able to move like 5 feet to being able to move 15 or 20 feet, it feels like you're lurching forward. So you can move about 3-4 inches forward, and you two feel that same kind of pull as you're kind of thrown forward as the gravitational force decreases. Make a dexterity saving throw to see if you can keep from like whacking your head against the wall behind the panel.
7. 2.
What's your dexterity?
Probably not good. I have no idea. 14.
Plus 2.
So 4.
I got a 7. I should
So yeah, you guys roll a d4 to see how much damage you actually how many hit points you lose as you kind of thump your head against that.
3, 2.
Okay. So yeah, that's how many hit points each of you takes as you kind of struggle to put your hands up in front of you and you're thrown into the wall.
Ow, I say.
Is it ow I say, or is it like ow she says?
Yeah.
It's the whole thing.
Ow, I said.
I mean, you know,
You will, Kurt.
some people do that, you know.
What a painful thing that just happened to me.
You
No.
turn on the invisible
I
camera.
So excuse. Yeah. Yes, like that.
Like
Ow,
that.
I say. Ow,
I say in pain.
Yeah. So, yeah. So that happens. Thump. She fiddles with it, and you're and from Noella's character's perspective, you see her reach over and like click, 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 and you two are thrown into the wall, and both of you are now have kind of like a like you hit your head on a cabinet.
Cabinet? What's in the cabinet?
There's not a cabinet, but that's what it feels like. Like it's
Man, it's a metaphor.
technically it was a simile because I used the word like, but you knew that. I'm sure.
Natural joke.
Wow. If it makes you feel any better, I started out as an engineering major and made it and like came into high school with or came into college with like Calc 2. So, you know, whatever the case.
I get the feeling you need to continue before you.
No, I'm gonna win the bet. I'm in like a bet with one of my friends. I'm gonna get 10 years before him.
Oh, that's interesting.
And they
Okay.
wouldn't let me in on the bet because they don't think I'm gonna get tenured.
That's
Ever.
not.
I don't even know what that
asked
means.
To be in the bet.
I did ask.
Well, you're not gonna be a professor, so.
I don't know that.
Fine, you can be in the bet. Sorry, that was an aside.
Is that what that is? Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Aiden, I'm in the bet now. I'm gonna win.
I was thinking to myself, isn't that a reason you'd want her in the bet so she loses? If you didn't think she'd win, isn't that why you make a bet? Because you think they'll lose?
Kinda, yeah. All right, so now you're feeling like you can move around. So what's your character going to start doing now that you feel like the gravitron core here is no longer pulling on you?
I'm gonna start sort of looking around, trying to see what exactly this is.
Okay.
Kind of look at my surroundings, try to investigate.
Okay. So are you looking around, or are you like using all like trying to poke around and mess with stuff?
Poke around and
All right. So make your investigation check then.
Ooh, that is a 28.
Okay. So over on your side, roll a d100 too. You can't see. So as you look on this side of the room, this side of the room actually has what appear to be very large, almost like socket-like bearings, or yeah. So you can see that there are these they're almost like 2 or 3 foot round diameter It's the length across the sphere. Yeah, the full size of the sphere or circle. 2 to 3 foot diameter. Would appear kind of like a socket, like a metal ball attached to something, and surrounded by another spherical enclosure. So it looks like it's kind of in place. And as you kind of poke around, you can see it kind of shifting and move and like actuating inside.
I'm gonna try and see if I can move it or twist it or just I'm gonna mess with it even more.
Okay. How forcefully would you go?
As far as my weak little arms can.
Okay, so you're trying to max out your strength to make an athletics check.
Not one.
Okay. Your rat-like paws slip around this thing. It's a very smooth, very quality construction. And you had what on the investigation again?
28.
Okay, and what was your D100 again?
2.
Okay, so very low. Okay. As you're doing this, so you're very perceptive, and there's some meaningful things. As you look, your hand kind of slips off, and you realize it's just covered in like a grease and oil. And then when you do that, you slip off, hit a panel that's on the side that reveals some arcane sigils. Meanwhile, actually, what class are you? Or I know you told me.
Wizard.
Okay, so make an Arcana check, and I'll come back to you. So what do you guys do now, Noella?
Oh, I want to make less gravity. Yeah, I want there to be more less.
So are you gonna keep trying to adjust it the way that she did?
Yeah.
Okay.
Why?
Okay.
You want to fly?
Yeah.
All right. Make a, because you understand how it works for the most
Yeah.
part.
I know exactly how it works.
So make a
Gravity.
I'm still holding it though.
do I?
I'm still holding
You-
it tight.
You got thrown against the wall.
You kind of got, yeah. So your hands are off it. What you did is there. This is really with advantage because you know how it works. Make a sleight of hand check because it's how carefully you can move it to the right place with
17.
to make sure the circuit lands. Okay, so you managed to click it into the right place, and what you think is, so you get the gravity where you think is the least possible gravity you can have, and as you do, you feel the pull from the center just disappear, and you actually hear from beyond this chamber you're in, things beyond you grinding to a halt, like the sound of machinery stopping.
Stop the world. I have so much power.
And you feel like and you do start to feel as if you're like what you might feel if you were slightly, it's not like full in space floating, but you feel yourself a little bit lighter. It's not quite moon gravity bounce.
When it stuff, you said like stuff grind to a halt.
Yeah.
Wouldn't we be moving faster because we are feeling more like centrifugal force instead of force to the center?
If that's what this mechanism did, and it had to do only with rotational motion, and technically it would be centripetal, not centrifugal.
Math majoring D&D.
It was a legitimate question, though. So things grind to a halt, but it doesn't. But from the way your bodies respond, it doesn't seem like it's only orbital.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's magic gravity.
It's Isaac Newtown's gravitational stabilizer.
Nice. Okay, so that happens. What was your Arcana check?
My Arcana check was a 19.
Okay, you recognize the two arcane sigils here as being connected to. Hold on. One looks like the And actually, they start to kind of pulse red and orange at when you feel yourself kind of get slightly lighter and the rest of the gravity kind of go away. And you hear the same things they hear. And the thing next to you actually stops. It was moving, it was actuating a little bit, and it stops. As you look at this, they change color. One is basically like a super complex version of Featherfall. I'm trying to find the right one. I believe. And it almost looks like a blend of Featherfall and Reverse Gravity, like the arcane sigils for this. And so you know that. And then another one has to do with, you said you got a 19?
Yeah.
All right. You're not sure on this other one, but you remember some of these symbols being similar to that for creating Unseen Servant. It's a little harder to place, a little more complex with just a 19. All right. So you're on the other side of the room, and you can hear them kind of bickering behind you on the opposite side of this space.
I'm gonna start trying to. You described it as like a panel with
Yeah, the like cover panel flips, kind of swings out, and you can see the arcane sigils beneath it.
I'm going to try opening it and attempt to mess with it, mostly like if I think I can turn them on, if I think I can turn them off, turn them off. Just try to change them from whatever state they're currently in.
Okay, and are you like poking at them? Are you scratching them? Are you trying to infuse them with arcane energy? What does that look like?
I am just trying to like scratch at it. Maybe I have a dagger and like just kind of like scratching it.
Okay.
That's it.
So you take your dagger and you're scratching at these sigils?
Yeah.
Okay. Roll a d100. What are you two doing then? So Noella went last, so what would you be doing?
I think because I'm very grateful because I realized that because she got rid of the gravity, I won't go banging into stuff anymore. So I'm very grateful, and I want to say thank you. And I rolled to have her say anything nice to me.
Okay. Both of you make raw charisma rolls. Contested charisma rolls.
Oh my gosh.
What'd you get? And add your charisma bonus or persuasion bonus.
Is my
Okay.
so sorry. My charisma was 12.
Okay. And then what was your roll?
15.
Okay. So you have a 16, and is yours a raw 12 or just a regular old?
11 plus 1.
Okay. So, what does it look like as you try and draw out a compliment or something nice from Noella's character?
I very softly just say, thank you. I really appreciate that because I won't go flying into people or things anymore. And that's all I say.
Okay. And is there any sort of like excessive now you like eyebrowing now you say something?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Noella rolled high enough to where it's not like she's going to automatically have to say something, but she can see what you're trying to do. So it's up to you whether you feel any sort of sense of social responsibility to respond with something kind or not.
The fire, it's gonna be everywhere. The fire.
It's not your fault. I did Will Hunting her.
I wanna go up here.
Don't you do that to me. Yeah, I can't do his voice in this moment. Yeah.
Do that to me, Sean.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can't say that on live television.
Oh,
Because Noella's
We're
never.
gonna get demonetized.
I'm not monetized. I'm not monetized.
YouTube lords will find it.
But with that, it was whispered. Moving on.
it was good.
I can just say you're I didn't know who you were.
We can put a bleep over it.
Can we?
Yeah.
It's probably possible. So with that, about that time, and as you, what was your D100?
It was a 28.
Okay, it's close. So, as you begin to scrape, make a perception check.
Did God give us gravity again?
It's not the same type of gravity. It's a low. It's not quite moon gravity, so you're not like bouncing, but you can feel that you have less. There's definitely not the heavy weight. You feel fairly light, all things considered.
It's looking around me. We're gonna have to fight your mom. Why? Give me a stick back, please.
What was your
Oh,
perception?
16.
Okay, so that's high enough to see that as you begin to cut in, as you begin to like use your dagger to scrape at the sigil, you can see that it as you kind of press the knife in to damage whatever it's made of, you can sense that's beginning to weaken it. Whatever it's doing, the light in that section and in the whole sigil kind of dims as you press, and then if you let go, it like comes back. With a 28, nothing bad has happened yet, or good for that matter, I guess. Nothing has happened. And as you all do that, there is a winged creature kind of walks in. Their wings are kind of pulled back. Seeing you all there, what are you all doing? What are you doing here?
We're playing with gravity.
No, you're not supposed to be. You were messing with the very delicate systems.
Yeah,
I thought we had some sort of. Why? How did you get here?
I was hoping you could
The
answer.
fire.
So there's a very lithe, almost elven-looking winged creature that also seems to very possibly have some sort of tiefling heritage to them, as far as it goes.
Can I speak Elvish to them?
You can try.
Okay. I'm gonna say, the fire.
There was a fire. Where was there a fire?
Can I
Is
get
she-
anything?
You could. She's like, and so she kind of, you can see that her wings are closed, but they kind of ruffle up and start like twitching, as she like hurries over, like, almost not quite Legolas like level dexterity, but she's like quickly stepping over here, with a fair amount of grace in her steps, elegance to her steps, and runs over to the control panel. Fire! Where's the fire? And you said, did you say, you said
There was
that,
a fire on my boat, and that's why I'm here.
what did your character say when she entered?
I'm saying it in Elvish. You don't even know what I'm talking
It
about.
was something like, wait, when the thing...
Yeah.
Oh, wait, it said, I'm scratching this thing.
Okay. She'll run toward them because of the fire, but look toward you and say, no, don't do that. Stop. You're going to break everything. You don't know this is complex stuff.
That's how we learn.
Yeah,
No.
We try.
I will teach you. I will teach you.
Is this all being said in Elvish?
No.
Okay.
Only what she says is in Elvish. This is in common.
Okay.
Oh, and what I do is I'm very jealous that Noella's character is talking because I heard her say probably 2 sentences. And that's 2 sentences more than she's said to me so far. So I'm jealous. So what
Harsh
I do
truth.
is I shake the thing again.
Like the sphere?
Yeah, to make the elf thing angry.
Okay. And are you trying to reverse what you've done, or is it...
I'm just trying to mess around.
Okay. Roll a d12. Mm-hmm. And then roll 2 d4s. Okay.
4, 2,
Okay.
4.
Okay. So suddenly you're kind of spinning this and clicking it out of spite now, and as you do, you feel there's a pulse of energy release, but you don't hear the same whirring kind of kickback. It's almost like when you it's an arcane version of when you try and start a lawnmower and it doesn't start. It's like cha-cha-cha-cha. But with it comes this draw toward the center in spurts. So it's like you feel this kind of gravity on, gravity off yank toward the center. So I'd like everyone to make dexterity saving throws. D20 plus your saving throw bonus.
2.
And I thought mine was bad.
And she's gonna get, because she's used to that.
3.
Oh gosh, okay.
7.
2, 3, 7, is that what I heard? And that's with your bonuses?
Yeah.
Okay. And she rolled a 5 plus hers, and she's dexterous, but still. All of you are thrown. Everybody roll a d4 to see how far toward the center you are thrown. Okay, you move that many inches. You're thrown that many inches toward the center and fall down. So you're going to be prone on the ground.
Prone to what?
My hug.
Prone to
Guy
wander.
came here, made us do rock, paper, scissors, and then froze in place.
Yes.
And she gets thrown backwards, wings on the ground. You see her wings kind of flare as she gets tossed back. And now everybody roll a d4, or a d6 in this instance, actually, to see how hard you hit the ground. And how much damage, and you take that many damage.
4. Oh, you said 6.
Yeah.
2.
Okay. No, stop touching things, all of you. You're going to. The system's not prepared yet. Why are you just randomly spin a dial?
You seem
And she says this from the ground, and she's like trying to pick herself up.
I don't see what's not to understand. It seems you very clearly understand.
Yes, which is why if you'd stop touching things and scratching strings and destroying the whole mechanism.
Holding on to the thing.
Okay.
What thing?
The thing. The
Like-
thing that I keep shaking. I don't know the sphere.
Oh, like the sphere, the control. Oh, did you get back? You stood back up and grabbed it because you were thrown back, weren't you?
Oh, you're the
I'm just
DM,
checking.
you can tell
Well,
me
I was
what-
just checking. So you kind of get up and you go hold on to it, is what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
That's all I'm doing. I'm just sitting, like, spitefully.
On top of it. Okay.
I would
Gotcha.
have referred to it as a sphere, but I call it the thing as a part of my spite.
I gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So
It's like-
so as you all kind of get back to your feet, listen, first we have to get this back in order or something bad's gonna happen. Like, it's not meant to be down. The whole machine is down. Do you not? How did you even get here?
I don't know.
The fire in Elvish.
I died.
You died?
Yes, I was hung.
Well, that's very sad, but
Yes.
this place is weird. I don't know why I got this job in the first place, but okay. And then Noella, so the fire again?
The fire.
What? Did you die too? Was there fire involved? What about you?
I don't want to talk about it.
Okay. So somehow we're sitting here inside of my Gravitron Titan, and something funny's happening where you all who might have died or had some sort of trauma, and now you're messing with my stuff. But you ended up in the core of my Gravitron. Hold on. And she pulls out this kind of long kind of notebook, like a detective style notepad. But bound with coils of wood instead of the plastic usually. And she's like scribbling and like flipping back a couple pages. What do you do next?
I want to look at the book.
Okay, so you're gonna try and look over her shoulder. Okay. So are you gonna try and hide that you're doing that?
No.
Okay. So make this is just straight perception. Okay, what are the two of you doing? As you kind of get back to your feet and you hear her and see what she's doing there. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. I'm gonna try and look over her shoulder as well.
Okay. Perception check.
Perception. That is a 18.
Okay. Both of you see well enough, but you see much better. So you're gonna get to do either insight's wisdom based, right? So you can choose to either do insight or I think investigation would still be the next one. So between the two of you, you get to do insight or investigation as a follow-up. You get advantage on this roll to try and understand what's in the book.
I will be doing investigation.
Oh, I'm doing insight.
28 for investigation.
Okay.
Rolled a 19 and I have a plus
And you
9.
can do an insight check on Noella's character to try and read her body language. 21. Okay.
19.
Plus your insight, which is this is it's not your fault. So it's gonna be a 20 basically. Okay. So all of you rolled fairly high. So we'll start with each in different things. So you with a 28, you said, recognize complex mathematics and arcane symbols and formulas that you're used to seeing as a divination wizard. But you think that it looks more aligned with transmutation magic. That's one part of it, but there is some divination there too. So there are some very, very recognizable things there. And as you're investigating, you're recognizing the symbols, and as she's flipping and that kind of thing. So it's drawing on some of your past knowledge as you start to put the pieces together. And she's like mumbling as she goes, so you're listening carefully to what she's saying too, as she points at different things and like does the kind of verbal calculations of stuff. Noella, you were doing insight on yours with a 21. So you're inferring from what she's saying in her body language and how she's flipping through this that yes, something. This is some sort of complex machinery you can see because the symbols are complex in there. But most importantly, she flips to one page that seems to have a whole that seems to have a whole lot of red crayon over it.
That looks like my notebooks. Crayola crayon?
That was weird.
Yeah.
Did it just slowly shut by
No,
itself?
some lady was
Yeah,
there.
it was someone who like came in, went out.
Weird. Okay.
She was on the phone.
Interesting.
She was wearing a red shirt. It might have been a vest. I
Okay.
think it was a vest. Like one of those vests with the bubbles. and
So
stuff.
she's invested in this. Okay. The bubbles?
Yeah, like the vests that have like the bubbles.
Ah.
Yeah.
A
Okay.
pepper vest?
Yeah, that's the
A
So
what?
Marty McFly.
Yeah, Marty McFly vest, but
Oh.
the vest was red and the shirt she was wearing was like it was a dark color.
Like Urban
It might have
Outfitters.
been like blue.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So neutral yin colors.
Sure.
Okay.
That
You
was important.
I thought I'd share my knowledge.
as you're looking at these complex symbols, you don't necessarily understand all of them, but your insight into one of the pages she lands on is like, this is the emergency page, and this one's kind of stands out as she's like trying to do mental math of like what needs to happen, and you see like the top part is like red, and the bottom part has like this. It's almost like a kid style drawing of like exploding machinery that looks almost like the Death Star erupting from Star Wars. The red's on top. The lower portion is just in pencil or charcoal.
Oh, so it's not fire, it's just exploding.
Yeah.
That's it.
And so as so you're seeing so there is some sort of meaningful machinery based catastrophe that could happen. And then kind of the combination of those things. So you're getting a little bit of all of this, but you actually think that you've listened to how she's doing the calculations and understand it well enough between your two rolls that you might be able to offer some sort of suggestion based on your divination abilities. So what would think about what that would look like here. And Noella, she had a high enough insight that while you're going through this, would you describe how Noella would be feeling in this moment
I'm scared of the fire.
on the page?
Yeah.
Okay. Give us a little bit more to that.
What more?
A little bit more detail. Or how would you carry that fear in your body?
Scream.
Okay.
Like loudly.
Okay, so you're looking, you see this red crayon color and the explosion, and you scream loudly right there as you look over the shoulder. Okay, you get the sense that her character is afraid
bad
and
thing.
freaking out.
I take a look, kind of like you, just like, all right. And then I tried to look.
She's a screamer.
I tried to identify the calculations and tried to look for ways to like complete the problem.
Okay.
Like, just like this, you got this wrong. Do this.
And what's something in your? 'Cause you just said your divination.
Yeah, I did.
What is something in your arcane abilities or prepared spells that you would use to help with this?
I am going to use portent to
Oh.
just divinate to divinate the future as to what she needs.
Okay. And did you roll 2 portent dice yet?
Yeah, I got a 10 and a 19.
Okay. Which one do you give her?
A 19.
Okay. So she's gonna get a 19 on this as you assist. And let's just make sure that's not. Okay. Yeah. So that's definitely better than what she was gonna get. So as she tries to figure this out, you guys work together and you kind of hear her mumbling the calculations. The scream throws her off. And you can tell like her circuits got twisted. You know, if you've ever been interrupted in a multi-step math problem by a blood-curdling scream, like that's kind of how it feels. Or if you had small children around you, the pterodactyl squawk, if you've heard a small child do that. Maybe you haven't, maybe it's just been in a restaurant near you. Me, I've lived with it a lot, but they're sweet. Anyways, so her calculations get messed up, you get her back on track, and then you add even more. And she's like, so then she tells you, quick, you need to turn it 3 left, 5 right, and 2 down.
Okay.
Okay.
So what I do is I realize that, you know, being petty isn't going to get us anywhere, so I do what she says.
Okay. So make a sleight of hand check, which is based on dexterity. So roll a d20 to see if you can kind of click.
2.
We'll give you advantage for a couple reasons because she's giving you the specific things and your so roll a second time and we'll take the highest of them. Okay. All right. So 5 plus, it's going to be your dexterity bonus,
14.
which is that's a +2. So that's still 7. So you struggle at first. You in the moment to try and feel the clicks right, and also you realize that she's telling you a certain direction and you're sitting on it backwards. So when she says like left, right, or up or down, you start doing it in reverse. And again, you hear the sound, but it's like the sound of like a car backfiring, but with arcane energy and like crackling magic connected to it. And so with that, she's like, no, your other left, no, flip. And so, so with that, you guys are all kind of standing up, right? Gather around. And she will, actually, I just knocked you down twice. Everybody make one more dexterity saving throw, because as these arcane energies are sputtering and sparking, you feel the whole, whatever this thing is that you're in, she called a Gravitron Titan. You feel it kind of shudder. Okay, what do we get?
12.
14.
Okay.
14.
Okay. Those are all good enough to keep your feet. And you can see that the center where the gravity was drawing you to, it seems to start glowing. And it's kind of, it starts glowing yellow, and then after a few seconds, it gets to light orange, and then it starts to go kind of a medium orange. And she's like, hurry. And she kind of tries to push you out of the way. Do you kind of get out of the way and let her?
Yeah.
Okay. And so then she kind of reverses what you did, and then tries again. So let's see how well she does. Okay. And with that, okay, now quick, I need you to go and can you put any magical energies into those sigils over there?
Yes, lots of natural energies.
Okay, as much as you can.
I can't promise you they'll help, but they'll be magical.
And the two of you, can you try and spin? And she points at what part of this thing in the center that was harder to notice before, but there appears to be some sort of handholds that on the floor of this center thing that was pulling you. She's like, can you turn it clockwise? It'll probably take both of you.
So she's gonna help at all.
I am trying to help at this point in
Yeah,
time.
you're 2 feet tall.
Okay. And if you have anything in your character's repertoire that might influence how you do this,
My strength is 20.
okay. You're very strong for a fairy. Like,
Yeah,
Did
mine's
she say that?
not that bad.
what level? So what are you gonna do when with the arcane energy, the direction she gave you?
So I go to the arcane sigils. And does the thing they're on count as an object?
Why do you ask?
I want to cast animate objects on it and tell it to work.
And what level spell is that?
5th level.
Okay. So you're gonna try and cast animate object into the sigils, basically.
Yeah.
Okay. And is there any sort of like, do you have to make a check or does it just happen?
It just happens, and
What's
it's like the different sizes determine. It's like I can animate 10 objects that aren't being worn or carried. Medium objects count as 2, large count as 4, huge count as 8.
What's the casting time? Is it just one?
Casting time, 1 action.
Okay.
Concentration, 1 minute.
Okay, so you start infusing your magical energy. So mark that spell slot off. And you're kind of holding that because you're maintaining concentration, right?
Yeah.
Make an Arcana check with advantage. All right. So what are you two doing? How would your character go about following this? So you're just gonna muscle it, wings and all.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's the thing that's orange? What turned orange?
So there's like the center of this.
In the middle?
Yeah.
Does it look like fire?
It looks kind of like a jet engine, but with spokes. It looks like a jet engine, and the color is like arcane energy between the what would be like blades here. And she's asking you to turn that.
Fire.
Have your character make a wisdom saving throw to see if it looks like fire to them. If it's below 11, what'd you roll?
26.
Okay, so no. For you, you can distinguish the difference. Okay. So now both of you make an athletics check then if you're just going to muscle it. Or your arcana.
Oh yeah, I got
20
I got a natural 20, 33.
Okay. So you rolled a 20? Okay. So that means both, so you get a +5. I think it was a +8 on with athletics. So you muscle this, and it's almost like it has the feel of Tony Stark in Avengers, the first one, where he's restarting the engine for the jet. Did you see that movie? I'm realizing timetables and what. Okay. Do you know what I'm talking about? Okay. So where he starts pushing and then kind of gets caught in the blades, but you guys don't have to worry about it.
Okay.
Yeah, you guys kind of you spin it like a roulette wheel has never been spun before. It's like
Oh, yeah, this is bringing me back to my pirate and sailor days.
and so
Say that loud. Should I say that one?
No.
You say that.
that definitely happened in character.
Did you just say that
Because
out
there's
loud?
no way for me to distinguish between your character and Noella's voice because they're the same.
Thank you. Thank you.
Saying everything out loud.
Yes.
Including that.
So they go and between the two of them, they crank this thing super hard, get it spinning. At the same time that you get a 33 on your Arcana check, right? So yeah,
I have a 13 on Arcana.
level
Let
10.
go of my stick.
And then she's watching both of you for just like the right opportune moment. And not doing well. Okay, that one's better. And you hear this power on, and then you hear like the, and it is slightly musical.
I want to dance.
You want to dance?
11 installations.
Are you sure? Performance check.
Indecisive one.
I'll do it.
You don't
Yes,
have
can
to.
I dance with her?
Sure. It's the little things,
It's
little
a
joys in
happy
life.
dance. It's
Okay,
a
yeah.
congratulations, you did it dance. I got a 5.
I got 8.
I cast minor illusion to make a stick figure dance.
Okay.
It's a 6 total.
So at first you all are like, "Yay, happy dance," and then all of a sudden, what the reason for the low performance is that he makes a minor image of a dancing stick figure next to you that throws you off rhythm.
It's just so good. We can never
You're jealous
I
of
could
the
never
stick
compete.
figure
Shout
dance.
out to
Definitely
stick figure,
that.
man.
Yeah. Yeah, that. So, with that, well, it looks like we've managed to get out of the danger zone here. Could you all just would you just come with me and we'll leave this very sensitive area that I'm still trying to work out exactly how you got here? You just come with me. We'll get you. I've got snacks. You want some snacks?
Yes.
Are we leaving through here?
Yes.
On the way out, can I turn this like 1 notch? Just for fun.
Act like without being noticed. Make a sleight of hand, and then, what'd you get?
11.
Her passive perception is gonna be way better. No. So yeah, she's gonna see you starting to reach. I said, "Come with me." She's like amped up. So she kind of taps your hand away. No,
What?
no,
How tall is
no. She's like 5'10", 6'2", actually.
taller than her?
Yeah.
I want to kick her.
Do you?
Yeah, I want to kick her.
Okay. For pushing your hand away.
Yeah.
All right. Make an attack roll against her.
Okay.
Who knew?
Oh.
Who knew that the murder hobo was
It's a
Noella
1.
at the
It's a
table?
nat 1.
Is it really?
It's strange because I keep looking at my spells and I'm thinking just fireball, fireball, fireball.
Oh.
That's my.
I mean, hey, you could have tried that. There's
I
some options.
almost did. That was the thing. That was what I was going to do next.
It's just one of those off ducks kicks off to the sides.
Because it was like low. That so. So are you trying to play it off, or do you like go "Mah," and you like go to kick and it like you hit your? I'm gonna say you stub your toe on the thing. So roll a d6 to see how much damage you take from stubbing your toe. You're a pretty strong furball. You kicked hard. You're like, I want to, and you looked very vehemently at her as you did this. I mean, usually people keep track. How many hit points does your character sheet say you have?
125.
You're fine right now. Yeah, you're fine. So yeah. Okay. So with that, so you all, she's like, come on now, and don't touch any of the things anymore, and we'll get you situated. We'll figure out how you got here, and if you don't want to go back where you came from, we'll figure out how to help you move forward. But we are kind of in a sensitive timetable right now. This thing we're in is on a very important mission. And so we can try and help you out as best we can. But why don't you come with me for now? Okay. Just, after you, just walk forward through this and kind of indicating go that way. So is that something everyone's willing to do?
Yeah.
Okay.
As we're
But I'm
walking,
spiteful again.
I pull out a gray bag, and then I reach and grab a little fuzzy thing, and I throw it on the pathway as we're going. This is my uncommon magic weapon.
Okay.
It's a gray bag, and
Gray bag.
I throw a little fuzzy ball on the ground, and it turns into a weasel.
Okay.
A weasel?
A
weasel. Yeah.
We
Okay.
just got copyrighted.
We're gonna put this in.
Is Killian's fork still lying around?
Um,
or-
He kind of so roll a d100 for 96. So it seems like he almost like zones out, but he's like, his character is almost like walking around in a daze, as if somewhat disconnected.
The trauma of having us play Rochambeau.
It seems like something has happened with when he cast that spell. He like momentarily enjoyed it, and then he kind of went like just spaced out. And so he's kind of just standing there like glazed looking eyes, but he'll follow you all around for now. Wow. I see. Do you need some excitement in here?
No.
I can incorporate some traps if you'd
No,
like.
And then Ostodius attacks.
And yeah. Roll a D100 for demon possession. No, that's sad. Let's not. I'm kidding. I don't like that. You don't know. So you walk into, you only see the hallway. It does look a little bit like that, but you only see the hallway as you walk out of this space. It looks like slightly more like for someone who's been in a ship before. It looks like an expanded form of like the quarters or the storage area of some sort of vessel. But you can see just the hallways, and you see these doors to these 4 chambers, kind of off this hallway. But yeah, so she will lead you into this area. Well, so just tell me a little bit more about yourself and kind of where you come from, and maybe we can figure out and whether you want to go back there. And she'll look at the 3 of you.
I was on a boat and it was like this. It was a boat like this and it was on fire.
Okay, and would you like us to? And was that? Do you know what plane that was on? Was it or what country?
What's a plane?
Well, it's like most places with boats and water are on the material plane, but not every one of them.
What?
So, do you know what country you're from?
The ocean?
Okay. And was it a cold ocean or a warm and humid ocean?
It was cold.
Okay.
The fire was not cold.
That makes sense. So maybe the fire was meant to keep you all warm and kept from dying? I'm just trying to spin a little hope into what I'm hearing from you.
It was everywhere.
That sounds less hopeful. Well, okay. So I'll keep that in mind. A cold ocean somewhere. Preferably without the fire. All right. And the other 2 of you, do you have any hopes of getting back to where you came from, and what would that look like?
I think I'd be content going anywhere I didn't come from. Because I got executed.
That's true. You did say it was traumatic. Was there a reason that they felt like you deserved that sort of, treatment?
I was bitten by a were-rat, and then I started saying crazy things about the future. And I was sometimes right.
This looks AI generated.
It is. It's probably like Stable Diffusion or whatever. But yeah, I got like 10,000 maps like this. So, if you don't look close, it looks real nice, right? Your character wouldn't see that from here, so you don't know.
Okay.
I say, well, I'm from Oklahoma in the ex-USA, the United States of America. And I had a happy life on the farm, but I was lonely, I say, looking at Noella's character and also your character, but more so Noella's character. And I would love if, I had people to come back there with me. So if anybody doesn't want to be on a boat, a cold boat in the middle of nowhere, and wants to live on a grass farm with me, they would be free to live with me. Thank you.
A stellar presentation, very detailed and specific, actually. That does help. Yes.
I have nothing to add.
Okay. All right. Well, let us begin to consider. Well, just for some background, you all have somehow made it to a place where spirits are in between their starting point and their ending point, but it's been transforming of late, and there are a variety of communities. You're in what's known as a Gravitron Titan, which may not mean a lot to you, but basically this is a large ship that is sentient most of the time when there aren't intruders in its basically the heart, causing cardiac arrest of the Titan. He is seen as a male, so boy is correct for multiple reasons. It was strange, his creation process. Started out as a little toy soldier, really. But now he is very purposeful about getting to his destination and stopping what he believes is a catastrophe, and we're trying to help.
There are spirits from the ethereal plane walking around here.
You might say that, though we usually only see those when we get closer to the surface. We are about a half mile up from what would be considered the surface, as if we were flying through the sky.
We're flying.
Wait, so hypothetically, if we could see to the ethereal plane for no particular reason, and not because I can do it, we might see ghosts or spirits of some sort.
Make a either Arcana or Insight check,
Like,
and then she'll try and answer too.
Arcana or insight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Despite being a 2, I rolled a 15.
Nice. Okay, and so out of character, what are you actually trying to determine?
If I should use my third eye ability to gain the ethereal sight and see things on the ethereal plane within 60 feet.
So what Ethereal Sight does where you're at is gives you the ability to do that on the material plane. So it reverses.
Okay.
At least
it
that.
reverses.
So if you're on the ethereal plane, you see the material plane,
Oh, okay.
equivalent for 60 feet. Yeah.
All right.
So you will already see any ghosts or things or apparitions on the ethereal plane in their ethereal form.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. And then if you want to see beyond, you translate through that barrier between planes into the material temporarily. Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
So you realize as you say it, like that's what you get out of it. And she's like, I haven't thought of that before, but maybe it could be a fun experiment. Very possibly we can check with our lead here and see what our lead researcher here and inventor and see what he thinks.
It's me. I'm the lead researcher.
That's not actually true.
Oh.
I've never met you before, so that by definition wouldn't
Okay, but
make
have
you the lead.
Met the researcher?
Yes, actually, he's a strange gnomish fellow.
So am I.
I don't think gnomes are 8 feet tall.
You know what? You've never met me, so
I have. I've known you for a full 5 minutes.
nuh-uh.
I can see this conversation is going to be a lively one with you. Why don't you come with me? Let's have you just. Why don't you all just come sit and rest in the study, and I'll have. We'll get you settled. And so over here in the door to the left. Would you go with her? She's kind of leaning over.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fine.
All right. So just sit here for a moment. I'll be right back. There's some tea if you want over in the corner, and a box of biscuits.
I tried to grab all the food and biscuit and carry like enough to feed everybody because I want people to like it.
Okay. Do you all take the tea and biscuits that she brings over?
I'm not eating your evil person cookies.
I have my weasel go and grab it from you and yes, weasel, yes.
I'm not eating your evil person
You like
cookies.
that?
Yes.
You said you're good.
The effects haven't kicked in yet.
So the guilt effect that I caused on you earlier.
Rest assured, there's nothing these could possibly do to me that hasn't already been done.
No. Thank you.
It will help with fire.
So you don't accept
No.
the snackages?
No, I just have like double the cookies. And
Okay.
Won't eat the evil cookie.
So I like looking at you with like big puppy dog eyes.
What makes them evil?
They're evil.
Yes, but what makes them evil?
That lady could be poisoning us.
I mean,
The elf lady?
Yes.
why?
For fun.
I don't want to be dead.
No.
At Noella's character saying that, you all are welcome to make an insight check into the lady's character if you'd like.
I will.
I will as well.
Or if you have any
Is there
spells.
with us?
No, she left.
Oh, okay.
She's like, just stay
Still
here.
in that room.
I got a 15 for insight.
It's right in the middle of the room, right on this sofa.
Okay. I got a 10.
Is that including your...
Oh.
So this is insight, so you're going to add your wisdom bonus.
Which is a 12, so that would be +1, so 11.
Okay.
15.
And are you going to insight, or you just assume she's evil?
I'm assuming it's evil.
Okay. With an 11 and a 15, so far, she doesn't seem to have done anything that Noella's character would suggest screams evil. She hasn't tried to hurt anyone. Not that evil is necessarily something on that level, but so far you haven't seen anything that would indicate. But if you wanted to, you could always check for the poison Noella suggests in the biscuits. Or just wait and see since you've eaten them.
I'll wait and see. And I've eaten double the amount.
With a 15, you're fairly certain. She seems nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just kind of whispered in my weasel's ear. If I fall over and don't get up, drag me into a hiding spot. As I'm saying, there's like a weasel in my hand.
That's the best I got for you on Weasel. Vesselton, that's different. Like a chicken with the face of a monkey.
Yes, I
Never
know.
mind, different. Fine.
Frozen.
Yeah. Okay.
The dude-
Yes. All right. So
I watch Frozen all the time. You don't even know.
that's okay. I'm not judging you.
She was saying that to me.
I've seen Frozen so many times.
Yeah, but you have children.
That doesn't mean they've been there every time I watch them. That's also true with Encanto and Despicable Me.
Your children have never seen any of them.
Okay.
I used Encanto to demonstrate to my mother what generational trauma is together. That's why
Mm-hmm.
conversation that was being had.
Okay. So it takes a couple minutes.
I'm probably gonna go and use the restroom for that.
Cool, man. I'm so glad I got to see you. Think about the Warhammer 40k question. We're going to work it into our other main campaign.
Exciting.
A mini. It's a whole thing.
I have a. Do you know who the crew are?
A spin-off?
Not exactly. But I can't say much.
Is it like an animated special? Like a claymation special of the TV show? Like in Community? You know what I'm talking about. The claymation Christmas special.
I know what you're
The
talking about.
musical claymation Christmas special.
As a comparable alternate, it feels like that. Yeah, it will
Okay.
hopefully feel like that. Yes.
It's a claymation special.
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I've seen several in my
Okay. So,
Okay.
I can't remember what you said Crutar?
No, crew. Kroot. Alien species in the Tau Empire.
How I recognize, I'm still learning. But,
The Tau assimilate many species. Kroot are one of them.
okay. So no, I haven't gotten that deep yet. I've tried to focus on one or two for now and then get a general understanding. So we're getting there.
Parallel sofa.
Yeah, parallel backing of
What's
the
this
sofa.
thing?
That
Are you
Why
critiquing?
does it have two dots?
it's a door that like it's the secret passageway between.
They're
the cupboard
critiquing my
and the-
maps that I
Okay,
got
what are these things?
that are stable diffused.
That,
That's
It looks like
It
a
looks
bowl
like-
of candy or like a
it's
robot.
bowl of candy, but the candy's coming
a
alive.
candy robot.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
cute.
because it's a candy. Right?
This one looks kind of like a tuba.
Yeah, that's a $2 pie.
Is that
Oh
cute?
no!
That is the flux capacitor.
Okay,
That's
good to
so
see you, man.
cute.
Are you going to be here
There's
Thursday?
Rectangle.
Yes.
Cool, man.
That's a misplaced rug.
Okay.
Okay.
Or if I do, I'm coming.
God, it's like something
All right.
like put into.
Good to
chat.
see you. Hope you had a good Happy New Year and stuff.
Uh-huh.
Later, Ryan.
That was like the inside of the sofa, and they're in a pile. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we're
So, following her in is a small gnomish man with white hair that kind of sticks up in all directions, kind of the doctor from Back to the Future. Oh my gosh, what's his name?
Doc Brown.
Doc Brown.
Dr.
He's got
Emmett Brown.
yes, a little bit.
You need to stop.
Why? That was basically what I said. I just forgot. Is this some sort of hidden joke from
That's
some
my
fanfic?
favorite movie.
Oh, good. Cool.
I love that.
But this guy's a gnomish looking, hair kind of crazy up. Well, it looks like you all have come from very far away.
So you must be me,
No.
the scientist.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which is me.
So what brings you into this, my friend, the Titan? Okay. So, how did you all end up in the heart of the Gravitron Titan?
I died, and then I was here.
All right. Well, we can work with this theory. So all of you think you died.
Yeah, probably.
All right. Well, it's a strange thing, but I've heard of stranger. Did you know, about 50 or 100 years ago, I can't remember now, there was actually a group of souls that got help from a deity to be infused inside golems. But all at the same time, and they fought with one another sometimes. But it was a failed experiment. Perhaps something like that has occurred here. Does that sound... Have you heard of them?
Yes.
You have.
Yes.
So what kind of research do you do?
I do science research.
Very good.
But
And-
just like you. Well, you're just like me, because you're basically me, and I'm the first.
Okay. Clearly. Okay. Well, are you all interested in getting back anywhere? Or are you looking for a job? Or are you wanting to help us attempt to save an entire plane of existence?
Sounds interesting.
Or at least a large community within it. We call it the Banshee's Repose.
I would be interested in doing so.
I'm a college student, so I'm always looking for research opportunities. But my character is like, whatever she does.
On a boat.
Well,
What about
there
you?
are certainly a variety of airships that travel through this plane.
What's an airship?
Where it's like a ship in the air. But travel in the ethereal plane, which is where you are, travel works differently here. But yes,
Boat?
there are boats, but they aren't moved about with winds and such. They are moved through force of will and concentration.
It's through science, and I would know that because I'm a scientist and I'm a better scientist than you.
Well, all right. How would you like to move forward then? I defer to your expertise.
You should give me a boat.
Well, if we save the Banshee's Repose, perhaps I can help you find one.
Okay, let's do that then.
All right.
In the quickest and most effective way, so that I can get a boat.
Very good.
She will leave me alone.
I will help, and I will get her to elect me a second mate.
Okay. Well,
Who's first?
She, isn't it second mate, like captain, second mate?
is it captain and first mate? I think
It is first mate.
It's boat.
I'm
it's
not a
harem
boat
style. There's a first mate. There's a second mate. It's very weird.
It's boat
Very
person.
sister wife.
Boat person
Oh my
too.
God.
I'm sorry. I should
It's
not have.
Yeah, I thought this
A,
was a
B, C, D.
PG-13.
That technically, if you look on the cable networks, is PG-13 for that show. Anyways, I merely made reference to it. I'm not condoning it in any sort of form. So moving.
No. Let's stay back on that.
No.
It sounds like my kind of
I
book.
watched a show on Disney Plus. It's called Delicacy's Destiny,
Okay.
and the king had several wives in that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
When I went to Kenya, I had to talk with some of the. I went to Kenya, for those who didn't know, and I had to talk with some of the leaders of the villages about, of the communities, about how they handled. Because in some cultures over there, in some smaller communities, polygamy is a thing, and so they had to talk through like how they had to deal with that as a community and work through it. It was interesting.
I like my mom's saying of it. She's like, humans are not a naturally monogamous society, but I wouldn't be able to do it because I would get too jealous.
I think if you look through, I don't know. That's a tangent we'll avoid.
That's our podcast.
Let's get into
episode.
Yeah, we're gonna.
the,
I don't. So since I'm making this is a public live stream. We're not gonna have podcast moments.
Yeah,
Oh,
since we're so qualified to
Um,
discuss it.
Chip. So
I know all about polygamy.
if you could tell me, and this is partially to cover where I accidentally didn't have the audio on at the beginning. So if you could all tell me a little bit about yourselves, it might help me figure out how we could most efficiently, as this one has said, which I haven't learned your name yet, how efficiently I could incorporate you into the team. So, who are you, what are you like, and what do you do?
The name's Captain. Captain.
Nice to meet you, Captain.
And I was on a boat once, and I was the head of the boat, believe it or not. And then I was a scientist, apparently, because I'm a scientist. And then the boat was on fire.
So were you head metaphorically, as in leadership, or were you head like the top, like the mast? Or were you head at the front, like the prow?
Both, all three, all of them. I had a statue of myself at the top of my boat and a statue of myself at the front of my boat.
I'm
And
so
was
glad I
in charge.
asked that question. That's amazing.
Perhaps the boat sank from the weight of several statues.
The boat was made of me. It was made in my likeness. The boat, the wood, it was carved so that it was a boat with my face on the front.
It seems like perhaps the traumatic end was weighed heavily by your need to lead.
Maybe the
Uh-uh.
boat thought,
It's not your fault.
maybe
It's
out
not
of
your
it,
fault.
sink you into the nine hells.
Mm.
That could be.
Okay, so you know boats. Very good, very good stuff. I'm glad to hear it. Now, and you, what is
I'm a farmer from Oklahoma. That's Ferry, Oklahoma. And I farmed grass because that's what I eat. And it was nice because I could live far away from all the other fairies because low key I don't like other fairies. But then this fairy mailman,
fail, man?
he came to
That's
my
neat.
farm and he scared me and then I died of a heart attack.
Okay, and so and remind me, and your class is barbarian.
I'm a barbarian. I'm a fairy. I'm
Okay.
2'9".
Do you find you have a temper problem, or are you just very strong?
I'm very strong. I have 20 strength, all 20 of them, and that's all I know about D&D.
All right, then you, sir.
I was once a man, and then a were-rat bit me. And it made me kind of get a rat-like speed, kinda. But I also became extremely intelligent. I read a book, I did a bunch of weird magical stuff, and I started saying crazy things. And sometimes I was right. The people were afraid it would spread, so they hung me.
I read a book once.
I read a book once. Yes. That's where all my knowledge comes from. I found some wizard and I read his book.
Well, we certainly could use your insights into what might happen. I might stay and talk with you a moment longer. For the two of you, I'd like to send you to different parts of our Titan. You'll notice it's not too far to any particular place, but We do have some repairs that could use your strength, and particularly the bionic systems that still sometimes get aggravated. So perhaps your knowledge of farming could help in that way. And your leadership might be very... Now, what's your actual class?
Cleric.
Okay.
What did you say that you were? Scientist?
The scientist, yeah.
I don't think.
It's a researcher's a background, so you can get some
Sailor is
benefits.
my actual background.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
So,
a sailor cleric.
so then he needs to make it. So make a deception check. With all this time you've said sciencey scientist. He's gonna get advantage because you keep repeating it. And
Deception.
yeah.
4.
Okay. Everyone knows that you're lying,
Oh.
and you know that you're lying. But
Do you know that everyone knows that you're lying?
now, is there anything about your garb that would indicate that you're also this cleric background? Like, do you have
I'm
any
wearing
symbols?
Vestments.
Okay. Well, perhaps we could use your leadership with some of those who are actively praying for the protection of this community that we're trying to get to and not moving as fast as we had hoped.
But you should put me on a boat.
Well, we can't until we get where we're going. The Banshee's Repose is in imminent danger from a storm that we're trying to stop.
Yeah, sure. I've been in storms before, and you know how I handled it? Being an awesome captain. Something
Amazing.
you wouldn't know about.
That's wonderful.
Scientists.
So perhaps you could share those insights with some of those on our crew and how you were awesome to help them become more awesome. What is that?
Quick question. You are cleric. By any chance, do you worship Valkur,
I'm a
the
scientist,
captain of the
actually.
waves, god of sailors, ships, favorable winds?
Oh, you know what? I don't actually remember, but
I'm just
probably.
curious.
I mean, I assume so.
These
That seems like something I would do.
Cleric to an unknown god.
That seems like something I would do. So let's go with yes.
Well, you talked about all these statues on odd places, and I wondered
Yes,
if
statues are
that
nice.
offended this Valkur.
No,
somehow.
probably not. Because we're all made in the image of boat god. That means that every statue of me on my boat is a statue of boat god on my boat.
I'm leaning towards the Valkur guy.
I say that sounds right to me, and I think we should probably go with the statue though. And honestly, our team, we should start building statues
Of me.
of
You
you.
know what? If you do that, I don't think I want to be on the same boat
And
as you.
him.
And we'll
Wait.
make a
We'll
statue
make
for you.
statues of
No,
you.
no, don't affiliate me with this. I don't want
Statues of
Valkur
me.
coming for me.
It'll be 2 foot nothing, but we'll make a statue.
No. Please just don't. Keep it away from the Valkur.
So so we'll say that since time is getting away from us a little bit, we'll say that like you guys continue to like bicker a little bit back and forth, and this is like the slow fade out on this conversation, and with the other two kind of looking on, listening to you, and looking more and more worriedly at each other every now and then it fades to black.
Fireball.
So that was good role playing there. Good fun role playing, everybody. So
I was a scientist. I became a scientist and a boat captain and a whatever. So,
You got 10 years before me.
I did get 10 years before you,
Doesn't
loser.
got